Welcome back to Papa's Home. I've been putting money aside for the past couple of years. Now I'm finally ready to remodel the master shower. As a result, I'm going to be publishing videos super quick, so this is going to be a little bit more organic and less pre-recorded. Okay. So we basically moved around a whole bunch of furniture. We moved the bed out of the master. Another thing that we decided to do was empty out the closet. I felt myself asking, does this bring joy? Now that my closet is empty, I'm starting to think now might be the time to make a couple of improvements. You can see the door jambs on the closet. They're really kind of scuffed up. There's layers of paint on there and paint drips as well. I could probably save this if I take off the molding and really sand it down and prime it and everything. That sounds like a pain in the butt, so instead I'm just going to run to the store and install some new ones. So in today's video, I'm going to talk through that process. This was something that I knocked out over the weekend. I'm trying to get it done as quickly as possible so that the room is all ready to go by the time that the painter actually comes over. First thing I did was grab a piece of tape and I just labeled each of the closet doors just to make sure that I put them in the right place. The other thing I wanted to consider was, can I save the trim all around the closet? Very carefully try to move it just enough so that I can pull it off of the wall without actually ripping this thing to shreds. You'll notice that they are connected as one big piece. That's because they're screwed together with pocket screws in the top. So none of this was glued together. It didn't rip out any drywall or anything. Removing the door jambs was a lot more difficult. At first I was struggling to pull this off the wall. Eventually I decided to grab my Sawzall and I cut Once I got that cleared out, that was pretty much the end of the demolition. So the very next day I started to evaluate the space and I realized kind of a gap along the top of the closet right here. After kind of playing with it for a while, I decided that I would just grab my utility knife, score it along the back, then use the saw to cut small little notches out of the drywall. That made it really easy. You can see here I was able to remove some of it by hand. Towards the end though, I was making notches and then just grabbed the hammer and just knocked off all the free bits of drywall. I'm okay making a little bit of a mess with the drywall. I'm going to have a contractor come over anyways to do some touch-up work, so I'm not super concerned about it not looking super pretty. The important thing is that I just want to get the door jambs and molding installed ahead of time. I ended up running to Home Depot. I bought 6 of these boards, which added up to $80. What's great is that these are already made for, I assume, closet spaces. It was already cut to the perfect width, so I didn't have to trim that down at all. But also had these handy little niches at the top. So it just made it easier to install the actual boards above. When it came to installing the actual boards themselves, it was really easy to line up. Like I said, it was the perfect width, so I just held it in place, grabbed my nail gun, and just nailed it up. I made a couple of stupid mistakes, so this is an important part of the channel. I like to share all my mistakes because I think that if you're watching this, you probably want to learn and see what could go wrong so that you're better equipped. So I didn't have enough nails in the nail gun. As a result, as I was using the nail gun, all I was doing was making holes in the board. That's not that big of a deal. I know that a painter could easily cover this up and touch it up with some paint. It'll certainly look better than what was there before. At the very end, all I needed to put in was the top piece. I left about 1/8 of an inch, made it a little bit short so that I would have an easy time putting it in. I actually wish that I made it just a hair more snug so that it would fit properly. At the end of the day, again, not a big deal. I noticed at the very top that there was, oh my gosh, I'm sweating like crazy in here. What am I even talking about? The top piece seemed to be sagging. I ended up grabbing just a couple of shims. It ended up creating like a pretty snug fit, so I was pretty happy with that. Then I just grabbed my nail gun, put a couple nails into the top, and that's it. The door jambs were installed. So at the end of the day, once I did a bunch of cleanup, I wanted to grab the door casing and put it around and see if it still fit. You know, now that I cut off some of that drywall near the top, you know, I've now just made this closet door just a little bit taller, maybe by about an inch. So now that I've done that, these boards no longer fit, which means that I've run out of time for the weekend. I'm going to have to figure out replacement boards. I think I know exactly where to get them. Hopefully I can just pick them up next weekend, right size and everything. So I think just honestly 2 17-footers should be enough. So in total on this project, I'm expecting to spend probably a little under $200. And I promise it's gonna look better. It's gonna look better, y'all. While everything's moved out of the master bedroom and we're getting ready for the shower remodel, there's a couple of little home improvements that I want to do in the master bedroom while it's mostly empty. Be prepared on the channel. I'm going to be posting tons of content. These are going to be lots of probably incomplete projects. You know, when they're broken down like this, maybe it's more useful to you than like one giant like 60-minute video. I'm tired. Over the next month or two, I'm going to be going through lots of projects. They're going to be incomplete. I'm going to run into problems. I'm going to share all of that information. I'm also going to tell you how much the shower remodel costs, when I run into problems, how much those problems cost. Really the important thing here is to give you an idea of like what actually happens in a project. You know, I think the next video I'll talk about like my planning process for this whole thing and how I'm trying to coordinate all the different contractors and stuff. So professionally I work in project management, but I don't work in construction at all. So when you see these types of mistakes, just know I'm not telling you that this is the right way to do it. If you're a contractor and you see like certain mistakes or maybe like a better way that I could have handled something, please share in the comments. Really, I want this channel to be focused on how to learn and grow. So learn from my mistakes, you have feedback, you know, maybe I can incorporate some of that feedback into some follow-up videos as well. If you have any questions about this this whole process, feel free to drop a line in here. I'm kind of just filming this in my garage. My microphone's not working, my camera's not in great shape. I'm really hoping to get the Pixel 6 soon. Please come out soon. I'm using an old Pixel 2 and it's, I think, just totally on its last legs. I'm starting to ramble. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Don't forget to subscribe and thanks for stopping by.